Hello Grumpies. It's been a bizarre couple of days. On Monday I posted a video. On Tuesday I got a notification from YouTube that the video had been taken down. I appealed that decision and the video got put back up. So I thought it might be helpful for the rest of you, if you ever find yourself in this situation, to go through what happened to me. So Monday the 15th of May, I posted my video with Mrs. Bridgerton, who, if you remember, said that the coronation balcony was terribly white and over 4,000 people complained to Ofcom. So the comments were made in public by a public figure about a public event, and Grumpy was passing comment. So why was the video taken down? So first thing, let's go to YouTube and have a butcher's. So I go to my YouTube dashboard and there it is. I've got a channel violation. Just to point out, at the time this happened, the channel had 539 subscribers. That was one below the most we've ever had before that, which was 540. And just to point out that the channel got shadow banned when it was less than half its present size. So we only had about 250 subs when I got shadow banned. The most we'd ever had was 540. You know what it's like with YouTube. You gain a few, you lose a few, it fluctuates up and down. So look at the dashboard and sure enough, the video has gone. At the time it was taken down, it had 180 views and there were 2 Ming Mongs who had disliked it. So this is the message that you will get on your dashboard if this happens to you. Don't panic about it, just click review content. So there may be an issue with your content, which means they don't know. It's a preemptive strike. There may be an issue with your content, we're not sure. So just to be on the safe side, we've taken it down anyway. Okay, so click begin review. So if this happens to you, this is the first point at which you will get an idea of why your video has been taken down. Apparently it was taken down because it contravenes their harassment policy. Okay, harassment. Right, let's have a look at that then. So you will then go to this page, which is their harassment and cyberbullying policy, where they say that the safety of our creators, viewers and partners is our highest priority. Well, no, it's not. Making money is your highest priority. Content that threatens individuals is not allowed. We don't allow content that targets an individual with, and this is the important point, prolonged or malicious insults based on intrinsic attributes. Now, the minute I saw that, I knew it was bollocks because that doesn't happen in the video, and the video's back up so you can go and watch it for yourself if you don't believe me. So what does malicious mean? Well, according to the dictionary, it means deliberately harmful or harbouring ill will. Doesn't mention anything about taking the piss and calling someone out for saying something that is clearly racist. Something that, if you remember, over 4,000 members of the public also thought was racist. Just because you're not white and you say racist things, that doesn't mean you get a free pass, nor should you. Now, there are exceptions such as scripted performances, insults made in the context of an artistic medium such as scripted satire. Well, that's basically what Grumpy is. All the videos are scripted, apart from this one because I'm obviously commenting on this as I'm going along. So the examples that they give are basically insulting someone based on their appearance or their attributes or attempting to dehumanize them, none of which happened in the video in question. So the reasons for the takedown of the video were bollocks. I knew they were bollocks, and so I submitted my appeal to YouTube. Now, before we get into what I said, it's worth pointing out that all this is a reminder that YouTube is not a public space. YouTube are a private company. It's like going to a party at someone's house. If they don't like something that they say or do, they can show you the door and tell you to leave and kick you out. They could delete my entire channel at any time. We're all here on sufferance, And depending on what your point of view is, particularly a point of view like mine that's non-left, you are tolerated so long as you generate traffic for the algorithm. Bit like Tucker Carlson. You know, if you bump up against the limits often enough, then you're going to get in trouble. So remember, folks, YouTube is not a public space. It is a private company, and they can do whatever they like to you whenever they like to you. You are tolerated, you are here on sufferance if you help them make money. So if this happens to you, you can appeal against the preemptive strike. Now, to be fair to YouTube, there's millions of videos on YouTube, they can't check them all. Now, I don't know if it was the algorithm itself that's set up to look for the R word, or whether it was some sad loser Ming Mong in his mum's bedroom who reported the video. Whatever the reason was, the video was taken down. But you can appeal, and I knew I had grounds for appeal. So let's go over what I said to YouTube in relation to this video, and that might help you when it comes to yours if this ever happens to you. So, point number 1. And remember, we're talking about the harassment and cyberbullying policy. This is the one they tried to get me on, okay? Threatens individuals. Okay, that's bollocks, because at no point in the video do I threaten anyone with anything. Point number 2, targets an individual. The individual in question, Mrs. Bridgerton, wasn't being targeted. If someone says something publicly that is clearly racist, saying that they are a racist for saying something that is racist is not targeting an individual, it's stating the obvious, particularly when that person is a public figure. Intrinsic values. Again, none of the intrinsic values of Mrs. Bridgerton were referenced at any point in the video. None. The proportion of the video in question that directly references Mrs. Bridgerton is only 30 seconds out of over 8 minutes. Now, if you don't believe me, go back and watch the video and time how long I actually spend directly talking about Mrs. Bridgerton as opposed to talking about the other things I talked about in the video. What you'll find is about 30 seconds out of 8 minutes. Now, that is not a prolonged attack. It's also worth pointing out that to date, the channel has over 100 videos, and this is the first time Mrs. Bridgerton has ever been mentioned. And unless she says something equally stupid in public again, it'll probably be the last. So again, that's not a prolonged and malicious attack. That is bollocks. Mockery of a public figure for offensive public statements is not malice. And apart from anything else, malice is subjective. So you can say, oh, he's being malicious. And I can say, no, I'm not being malicious. It's subjective. There's no objective way you can measure that. It's not malicious, it's mockery. What she said was racist. And as I've already pointed out, there are over 4,000 other people who think it is racist. And I agree with them. It was a stupid thing to say. Now, this is the thing about free speech. Free speech is great because it lets you find out who the morons are. If you're going to say something stupid in public, you have the right to say that, but we also have the right to say, well, that was a bloody stupid thing to say. You shouldn't have said that. And of course, no apology. So, the cyber bullying and harassment policy, sorry, no, that's bollocks. On any of the criteria that you say are part of that policy, this video doesn't fall foul of any of them. So I sent off my appeal to YouTube. Now the video got taken down, well, I got the email saying the video had been taken down about 12 on the Tuesday. It took about an hour or so to word my carefully crafted appeal, which I then sent in. And then what I did was I made a video, the video prior to this one, saying that the previous video prior to that one had been taken down, but the video had been uploaded to Rumble, and you can watch the video on Rumble. And thought, well, that's the end of that. We'll wait and see how long it takes for YouTube to get back to me. Now, to be fair to YouTube, they did get back to me very quickly. I got an email about 2:45 saying it had been reinstated, and this was when it got bizarre, because no sooner had I uploaded the video saying the video had been taken down than the video was back up. So if you'd come to the channel, you would have seen a video about a video that had been taken down that clearly hadn't been taken down because it was there. So it probably looked a bit bizarre to anyone who came along and saw that, but you know, weird timing. So the video was put back up pretty quickly, to be fair to YouTube. Thank you very much. So this isn't the video that I was planning on making. I was planning on making more of a defense video, but now it's more of a, okay, this is what you do if this happens to you. And if this does happen to you, you will get an email that looks like this. And if your appeal is successful, you will get an email that looks like this. So now that the proverbial dust has settled, let's have a look and see what the outcome is. Well, as you can see, the video is back up, the appeal has been granted, and we've gone up to 542 subs. That's the most we've ever had. Thank you very much, every single one of you. It's much appreciated. But I have to say at this point, I don't do this to get monetized and make money off YouTube. I don't. For me, this is a matter of conscience. I do this so I can sleep at night, quite frankly, because as I say time and again, if you see something that's wrong but you don't say anything or you don't do anything, you're part of the problem. So all I'm doing is adding one more voice to the chorus. That's all the grumpy old fan is really all about. Because the more voices that get added to the chorus, the louder the chorus of the non-left gets against the left, and you never know, we might be in with a fighting chance. So we've gone up to 542 subs, the most we've ever had. Thank you very much. And as you can see, the video now has 392 views. So the grumpy old fan lives to fight another day. I know that will upset some Marxist Ming-mongs, but who cares about them? So again, if this happens to you, this is what you do. Check out the policy, make sure that your video doesn't contravene the policy, point that out to YouTube, and you never know, you might win, like I did. In the interests of fairness, it's important to point out that we don't always win. Some of you may remember my mate Paul from Sanctuary of Speech. He got taken out. And if you are relying on YouTube for monetization, when they demonetize you, that can be a problem, which is why the grumpy old fan isn't YouTube exclusive. You can find not all of my videos, because I'm starting to migrate the content over there, but you can find me on Rumble. You can also find me on Odyssey. You should never make yourself YouTube exclusive, because if you do, they've got you by the balls. So if this happens to you, take the time, put in an appeal. You never know, you might win. Until the next video, which hopefully won't get taken down, as ever, resist the Marxists, don't be a sheep, and stay grumpy.